We just had the super chat about Debo, right?
Right.
And I think that there's quite a bit there. I actually think that Debo might be the mismatch key that unlocks his Super Bowl win for the 49ers. If anything, Larry, I think that he's the guy whose motion might tip the hand that Spags is about to throw at Brock Purdy. Steve Spagnuolo is a wizard when it comes to disguising his coverages. And it looks like this play is starting in one coverage, and then the ball is snapped, and then something totally different happens. Putting Debo in motion and the amount of attention that needs to be put on Debo in motion, more than even other players going in motion because he's such a versatile player, maybe that's the key in unlocking the pre-snap decisions of Spagnuolo's defense. Again, this is what they're all paid millions of dollars for, disguising what they're doing as they're doing it. This is why they're coaches, and we just talk about football. This is why these guys are brilliant at their jobs, and we're gum flappers. But I do think that Debo is one of those guys where if the 49ers win this game, he's in the middle of it. And if the Niners lose this game, Larry, I think his absence is in the middle of that too. You know what I mean? And the same thing for George Kittle. If the 49ers win this game, he's in the middle of it. George Kittle, big day, not a day where he was left in to be a blocking tight end, but a day where he's catching the ball, he's scoring, chunk plays for Kittle. And if the Niners lose this game, I don't think we're talking about any of that. I don't think there's George Kittle had a 6-catch, 120-yard, 2-touchdown afternoon in a 49er loss, right? That doesn't happen.
You know what? I actually think Kittle could have a big game. There's been so much talk about Kelsey, and rightfully so. Kelsey's hot right now, but I mean, Kittle's really had the better year. Kittle is a little bit closer to his prime right now. And, we haven't seen Kittle have that monster game in a while. And I think, I think the monster game could be coming for Kittle. I mean, I know Kansas City's got Reed, Eric Reed's brother, the former Stanford star. And, but I still think, George Kittle could have a huge day, both as a run blocker for McCaffrey and as a red zone threat for Brock Purdy.
Look, Kittle and Deebo are mismatches. Whose defense gets caught in the most mismatches on Sunday is a question that answers who won the game, right? Who lost the game? Who gets to catch and take advantage of the mismatches and the rare handful of opportunities? You're lucky because both these teams are so well coached. If you got 5 bona fide, that's a mismatch in this game. Right? 5. Oh, God. Here it is. That's the matchup you want. Hit that play, score right now. That play is going to be available just a few times in this game. And the team that hits it, the team that takes advantage of the mismatch, probably goes along to win this game. Larry, which is more likely in your mind? That Kyle Shanahan shows us a concocted level of razzle-dazzle that we had not seen in the regular season. Like he's really got the play that he's been sitting on since the night he lost the Super Bowl. Like he and his dad both got drunk one night. They drew this thing up on a napkin in Cancun thinking, all right, when you get back to the big game and it's 4th and gotta have it, this is the play you're going to run. And we're not going to see it until that moment. This is a, break in case of emergency only level play. Or which is more likely, that razzle-dazzle, holy shit, Kyle Shanahan's a genius play, or just 35, 45 touches for Christian McCaffrey? Very much the exact same game plan you saw all year. Will Kyle dive deeper into his tendencies or try to catch Kansas City off guard with something they're not expecting?
Well, I mean, Kyle always does, right? The Niners are number 1 in the NFL in explosive pass rate. So I could see, I don't know if it's going to be a flea flicker, but I could definitely see some end arounds to Deebo. I could see, a couple reverses. I mean, the one thing, I mean, if you look at this Chiefs defense, you say, okay, what really stands out about Kansas City's defense? Well, 1, Chris Jones, right? So you got to get Chris Jones blocked. But 2, it's the unbelievable pursuit speed that they have with Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, if he winds up playing, Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed. I mean, they've got some big time guys who can really pursue. And when you have guys like that who can pursue and have great speed, the misdirection is always a great way to neutralize them and make them stay home a little bit, and not go crazy in pursuit. So I would say if they're over pursuing early in the game against McCaffrey, you're going to see some misdirection. Where maybe it's it's a fake to McCaffrey, but now it's a flip to Debo going the other way. So I do think there could be some razzle dazzle because Kansas City has three players in Gay, Bolton, and Sneed that really fly to the football. And when you have that kind of speed, you can neutralize it, by making them kind of, well, wait a second, what am I seeing? And Shanahan's also known as the guy. He has the most, pre-snap, what they call eye candy, where he's trying to set up, a play, a mismatch, define a coverage, by what he does pre-snap. And that's always going to be a staple of what he does. That's kind of how he operates. So I expect more of the same. I'm more interested to see Andy Reid, who can do that. But in recent games, he did a little bit of that this week against Baltimore, but they were very conservative. They were very, very conservative. Short passes, get to 3rd and 3, look for Mahomes to run. So does Andy Reid, who kind of can dial it up with the best of them, does he get razzle dazzle mode, or does he stay incredibly simple and conservative and try not to make mistakes?
Can't wait. I can't wait. I feel like, it's funny. You get to the Super Bowl and it's this weird feeling. It feels like it's the long journey here, yet at the same time, it feels like the season just started a couple weeks ago, doesn't it? It's taken forever to get here, and it feels like this all just started all at the same time. And there is no game that sort of knocks the space-time continuum out of shape like the Super Bowl. There is no city that knocks the space-time continuum out of shape like Las Vegas. There's a reason why you can't see a clock in any of the casinos. They want you to get lost in the day or into the night. So everything is disorienting. Who can survive the most amount of disorientation survives Super Bowl week.